Welcome back to our final segment of Chamber Exchange, the TV show. I want to thank the sponsors that make the show happen, St. Vincent Hospital and Bank Hometown. And we were pleased to have with us in our first segment, Bank Hometown CEO Rob Morton join us as well. So we're batting clean up here. Darnell Dunn, who's a Director of Business Recruitment at the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce, and 18 months under the belt, Darnell, in the role as Director of Business Recruitment. But as someone who has a commercial real estate background, and a broker, this isn't completely new to you.
Right, exactly. Good to be with you today.
Yeah, and the pride of UMass Amherst as a graduate. Darnell, you last year facilitated on behalf of the Chamber and I think the Central Mass community. There's a national organization, but they kind of have a Boston focus, Boston Biz Now, and they run a whole series of seminars talking about all the different aspects and facets of real estate development, and they bring together developers, brokers, lenders, to kind of talk about trends, what's happening, different types of building, office, commercial. You were able to help bring the first Boston Biz Now event to Worcester. We just had the second one, but what's the value in the Chamber helping, working with them to bring that community from New England to Worcester?
Right. I look at it as New England and Massachusetts specifically is so Boston focused that people don't realize that there's life outside of 128. And I think that they're an organization, worldwide organization, business to business. They have 11 million readers, so it allows us to really expand the interest and awareness about all the development opportunities that Worcester has to offer.
Right, and part of your job as a Director of Business Recruitment is not necessarily to, sit at your desk at the Chamber waiting for the phone to ring. I mean, you are out active, oftentimes in Boston, the greater Boston area, trying to talk about when, leaders of companies that are in charge of real estate and making decisions where to grow and expand. You're interfacing with different state agencies that might be working with companies looking to grow or expand or relocate into Massachusetts. But to your point, it's also letting that the real estate community know that there are opportunities to invest and develop, get a return on investment, which means they make some money. But sometimes until they come here and actually see it and visit, it's hard for people to kind of wrap their head around it, right? And so that's a big piece, is physically bringing them here, what you try to do. Right,
absolutely. And speaking of that, we just had the Science and Technology Diplomatic Circle out here last month. So just to give all your listeners a sense of who they are. So all the Consul General's offices have commercial attachés that they break down in different sectors.
If somebody doesn't know what a Consul General is, most people know what an ambassador is. So there's a Canadian ambassador to the United States, but then the Canadian ambassador then appoints in different regions of the country Consul Generals, like a little ambassadors, and their offices deal with a whole bunch of things, including economic development and investment from country to country, right?
Right, exactly. Foreign direct investment, so both two-way trade. And speaking of that, we had the Consul General for New England representing Canada, Bernadette Jordan, as the keynote speaker at our 150th annual meeting.
Yeah, she did a great job. And in that, she talked about just in Worcester County alone, as a result of Canadian companies being here, 2,700 jobs in Worcester County, and Massachusetts' biggest trading partner is Canada. Yeah, so you worked with all the economic development attachés or individuals in the Consul General's offices that are in science and technology, and you brought them to Worcester.
Yeah, brought them here to really demonstrate how Worcester can add value to them in the life science sector. So we toured MBI, got an explanation from John Weaver about all the wraparound services that they provide.
John shared a statistic the other day. In the last 5 years, when the life sciences, biotech, biomanufacturing industries has kind of consolidated or contracted a little bit, Central Mass, almost over 80% job growth.
Yeah,
right?
That's right, 84%. Yeah. So we're looking to throw gasoline on that fire with this by letting, because typically those people are going to be the point of contact for companies who are assessing how do they maintain or expand or even establish access to the U.S. market in a time where trade is kind of under attack right now.
Right. And there's a history of that here in Worcester and Central Mass. I mean, Genzyme was a Belgian company that looked at Worcester, went to Boston, but right behind that at the time, BASF in Germany said they'll come to Worcester. They were the first anchor at the biotech park. A few years later, sold to Abbott Labs, now AbbVie. They employ 1,000 people in Worcester, and just now it's the $70 million plus expansion in Worcester, which will add more jobs. So having that line of communication with the various council generals, economic development, science and technology advisors is important. So Worcester and Central Mass is on the radar screen. So when they're talking to companies that may be looking to have a presence in Massachusetts, Worcester and Central Mass are in the conversation.
Right. And no one's going to do that for us. So we've got to do that for ourselves. And you know, I'm glad that we've really leaned in there. And I think there's a lot more to do in 2026.
And just to go back to the Biz Now event, you know, I was not able to make it this year with you, but you know, the one last year, I mean, 300 people. 80% of those people I'd never seen before.
Right. And it was more the same this year. So about the same attendance and the same mix. About 80% of those people don't have a presence in Worcester, but are interested and excited to learn more. And we've been able to play that role of introducing them to the market.
Yeah, and it's all about kind of shrinking that sense of time and distance, and the more capital flow and investment into the region, you know, that's jobs, right?
Right.
Tax-based expansion, et cetera.
Recruit, retain, incubate.
Yeah. And so, you know, some of your other, just in a minute, business recruitment efforts. You're out and about, reaching out.
Yeah. So something that we're going to be looking to do more of in 2026 is do some co-branded events with some industry sector groups. MDG is one, so they focus on medical devices. So we're talking about doing an event with them. Mass Medic, which is another organization that focuses on medical devices, really leaning into those strategic sectors being life science, manufacturing, and commercial real estate and construction. Right.
So that's a kind of a blend, that sector, professional, scientific, technical, which has been one of the fastest growing subsectors of the economy here now for 15, 20 years, and then commercial, industrial as well. Well, Darnell, Dunn, thanks for joining us. See you back at the office in a little bit. And thank you for joining us in this edition of Chamber Exchange, a TV show. Wishing everybody a happy holiday season. And again, thanks to our sponsors, Bank Hometown and St. Vincent Hospital.